All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Tuesday night training. Jesse McPherson coming at you live here from Manila in the Philippines as we are 10 days away from being together in Vegas officially. I think whatever it is, 11 days away from the official launch here on Saturday, October 25th or 6th, if that's what it is, which is going to be pretty darn amazing. So hello, everybody. If you're just joining us, let us know where you're logged in from, where you're logged on from. We want to welcome you guys. If you're watching us in the replay, go ahead and hit that hashtag replay in the comment section, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or wherever you're finding us. If you're watching us live here, let us know where we are. We've got Charlotte, North Carolina, Brazil, Florida. We've got Gotham City always in the house, which I love. And by the way, if you weren't here for the first few minutes, we opened up with little Boys to Men, a little Motown Philly, and we had a group karaoke session. And I do have to say that we might have to do a group karaoke session in Vegas. So because I felt like it was a little of Viago's Got Talent. Some of you got some pipes on you. Some of you probably should only sing in groups. I'm just saying, just saying. I'm one of those people. I dance. I don't sing. That's why. So I got a little. That's what I've got. But in any event, we if you are brand new to the family, we want to welcome you to the community. Congratulate you on making the incredible decision to get started, not just in free enterprise here, but to join the movement that we are creating. And in this last 10 days of pre-launch, as we head into the official launch of Viago in Vegas here in a couple of days. So I'm going to jump into some of the content that I think is important, that everybody knows, everybody's aware of. And then I want to get into really kind of the meat and potatoes of building out your business. And one of the most important habits that we all need to be effective in growing out our Viago businesses. So let's dive into it. And we're going to pull up this presentation. Okay. So first of all, if you haven't been onto our new system website, so everything you're going to find is at elitesynergysystem.com. In fact, that's where you're going to find us everywhere. What's our email? elitesynergysystem@gmail.com. What's our Facebook? Elite Synergy System. What's our YouTube, our TikTok, our Instagram, everything you're going to find at Elite Synergy System. So we're not a team, we're a system. Okay. We're incredible teams inside of Viago that are supporting each other from all over. We've got so many different leadership groups that are here, and we want to encourage people to be able to, in building their teams and brands and representing their organizations. But here, what we want to do is put together a system, a resource here to help you go out there and build your business. So that way, no matter when you get started, no matter who got you started, whether you're a new person being introduced by a new person, that was my experience, like the blind leading the blind. Nobody knew what we were doing. We were excited though, is we wanted to make sure you had be able to get connected to the resource. So when you're introducing somebody, you don't have to know everything. All you need to know is elitesynergysystem.com, and you can get plugged into everything. So one of the biggest parts of that is the ESS, which is short for Elite Synergy System. ESS, you're going to see that a lot of places. So short for our ESS app, which we're going to talk a little bit here today. And if you haven't logged into it recently, I'm going to talk about using it as really your contact management, follow-up, and an exposure process system. Is get onto our website and watch the training on your app, number one, because it has been completely revamped and redone here if you've been using an old version of it, number one. But also, I just did a live presentation 2 days ago on Sunday night for the pre-launch of Viago, and that presentation has been uploaded into your ESS app. So under the opportunity section, under step number 2, peak. Okay. So you can get that there and see it, start learning it, and take it and add it to your presentations. Next thing is our training program. Our training program is our Inner Circle, Viago Inner Circle, which you can get our free 30-day trial, and that includes live monthly interviews from the industry leaders here, a part of our organization, as well as access to our weekly drops where we drop new content every single week inside of our Inner Circle app, exclusive one-on-one interviews, obviously priority seating at our events. You're going to be getting access to our VIP parties at events, which is our Friday night, A Night of Stars gala that's going to be taking place, which is only available for those that are part of the Inner Circle. So let's make sure you get in that if you're not already there. It's something we want to make sure all the new people are signed up for. We've got 10 days. Oh my God, 10 days. So 10 days as we get into the launch of our company here in Vegas on the website. If you have not registered, make sure you get registered for the event, which we're going to talk a little bit more about, but schedule-wise. Thursday, we got some special things happening, special 50 squared and above. That's when you have 50 left, 50 right. That's going to be happening, our first leadership launch meeting, which are going to be going over a lot of the announcements of the new company launch over the course of Saturday. On Friday, we've got our Club Fit workouts that are going to be kicking off in the morning, and then Saturday and Sunday a little bit earlier as we get into the sessions. We have a breakout session on Friday from 12 to noon, which is on maximizing your Viago membership. There's going to be a very powerful session here on learning all the ins and outs and some amazing tips and tricks. Because when you realize how much you can save, more than the cost of your monthly membership, outside of the incredible experiences you're going to go on, the trips and escapes you're going to go on, then obviously our membership is such a no-brainer. Kind of, it's like, if would you give me 99 if I gave you 200 back a month? And if the answer to that is no, you don't want to sign them up anyway. That's what we call an IQ question. Then we've got our Viago pool party, which your merchandise tickets, if you haven't, you can purchase your merchandise there of your pool merchandise in order to get into your Viago pool party. To get your wristbands at registration, we'll have those from 1 to 5. We're doing a complete takeover, our own private section at the Rio. It's going to be amazing. And then that night, 8 to 11 p.m., we're having our Inner Circle, a Night of Stars party, dressed to impress. This is it. So I'm going to see if you can overdress. I'd like to see it. I don't know if you can, but it's going to be an amazing star-studded event. So we're going from the pool to the glitz. It's going to be amazing. And after that Saturday, we got our Club Fit workouts, and then we are launching. Official Viago launch day 1 is happening 10 a.m. We got a full day in store for you guys. Of course, we do have a lunch break. And on Saturday, you want to be mentally prepared because we are giving you guys the agenda for 2025 and an opportunity to register for the first event of 2025 as we launch into our playbook event, which is going to be happening. I'm sure you guys want to know where we're going, and you will find out in Vegas. Now, after that, we've got our Sunday. We've got our Club Fit workout church session, and the morning on Sunday, back into day 2 of it. And then on Sunday night, our Neon Nights costume party. So you want to make sure, so get your costumes together. And then on Monday, we've got a morning Viago hike with some details coming soon, and our community day for those that are available to be able to stick around and contribute back. On the website, you're going to find all the details, our Club Fit session, and schedule of what's going to be happening over the course of the weekend. You can find out all the details again on EliteSynergySystem.com, where you can see the full calendar of events of what's coming up, even through November, our European tours, our December RTE regional training event, which is going to be going on live from the Reward Escape Trip in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. And then our 2025 schedule, making sure that everyone knows that there was an update to the Freedom Academy event, which is going to be the first weekend of May. So we should be buttoning up here this week to give you guys a firm date on the January event between option 1 and 2. We're still negotiating with and getting us some better rates and pricing on some 2 of great options for us on those weekends. So, but hitting them to October, our triple play. This is our points contest for the month. So for those that go out there and sponsor new people with our pre-launch program, you're going to get a point, right? So, and for every point for a new person that's coming in with one of our packages, that's a personally enrolled ambassador, this is the contest here. So we've got number 1, a new name up there on the number 1 chart there at 8 points, which is awesome. So congratulations. And we've got a few tied for 2nd and 3rd. It looks like Charles over there from that is kicking some butt on there pretty much consistently almost every single month. And top 10 are going to be obviously getting rewards, top 5 getting cash, and obviously going to be recognized on stage at the next event, right? Now, that is some of the updates and some of the details here from that side of the program. So as we're building, there's one more piece that I want to just mention to you guys, which is Bali. So Bali, just so you guys know, today was the last day. Actually, they closed the booking, and I actually called them to open it just because technically it's the 16th here in Bali and in the Philippines, where I am currently right now. So they closed the booking, but we had them reopen it until midnight tonight is the last chance for those of you guys that want to book Bali, our reward escape trip that's going to be happening here, which is probably one of the most important trips. It's going to be the first ever reward escape trip in the history of our company that we're launching in Viago. And I know Alma just hit me up, just said that she's going to be coming with me. Alma, I can't wait for you to come and with me. And here's the reason why. There's 2 more rooms left. That's it. That's literally all there is available here. So if any of you are crazy enough to come with me and go book this, this is literally your last chance. We've extended the booking. We even found a better location. We got a couple more rooms. I promise you this is it. Because I called them and they were like, the booking's off. They were like, yeah, it's the 16th. I was like, no, it's not. It's the 15th in the US. And they were like, all right, fine, we'll put it back up, but this is it. I was like, okay, give me one last chance. I'm getting on with my Viago family members here tonight. So, anyways, here's how you do it. You get onto clubviago.com. Okay. So, and you log in. Once you log into your membership site, you're going to just scroll right down to where it says reward escapes, not escapes, reward escapes. When you click on reward escapes, this is going to take you to the reward escapes that are in here. Now, inside of the reward escapes, the first one you're going to see when you get to that part of the website under reward escapes is going to be Bali, right? So this is the November 15th through the 19th trips. Obviously, you have the 5s that's going to be taking place down here. There's another reward escape trip that's popped up down here, and then a huge one, but also one of my favorites, which is Tulum, which is amazing reward escape trip that you guys can start utilizing. But we're going to focus on Bali right now. And when you get here, you click on it, it's going to open up and show you the trip. So once you're here, all you're going to do is go check availability or see availability, and then add if you're doing a single room, if you're doing 2 people in a room, you're doing 3 people in a room, so whatever it is. Okay, so put 3 people in if you must, and add to cart. Once you add to cart, you're going to go to your cart to check out. When you go to cart to check out, this is where you're going to be able to apply your reward escape points. Now, where are they? Right down here, they're in $50 coupons, right? So if you bought the pre-launch pack, you'd have 9 or 10 coupons because you'd have 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, right, for 500. If you exchanged your product credit for points, this is where they would show up as well. If you exchange your getaway for points, you'd see a bunch of these. So what you do is you just click on them and add them, and what it does is it continues to reduce the price of the trip, which you can use 6 coupons or $300 to remove and discount this from that $13.98 to $9.98 for 2. So very simple process. That's where you would do it. And get on there, right? On our website, a couple more things I just want to make sure that everyone here is aware of. So when you get onto our website, take a look at all this, get connected, watch the training, get into the presentations, almost everything that you need. I'm getting messages from people going, where do I find this? EliteSynergySystem.com. Well, where do I find this? EliteSynergySystem.com. Well, where do I find... Yeah, you got it. So, which is the point of it, right? So is making sure that everything. Now, of course, not everything is there, and it's going to take a little bit of time for people to really understand and utilize that. But the point of it is to where you have something that can replicate and duplicate. So that way you're not being the resource, that you can be resourceful. And that's really a big point behind that. Now, let's get into it. So it is going to be a great conversation here tonight, because we are going to talk about really one of the most important parts of your business, which is exposing people to Viago. Our job here is to introduce people to this amazing concept, this amazing membership, this amazing club, this amazing community, right? And one of the things that I've been listening to, if you haven't, by the way, listened to Jim Rohn, I've been listening to Jim Rohn a lot more recently as I've been working out. And I'm telling you what, man, every time I listen to Jim Rohn, when I listened to him from the beginning, when I started 22 years ago, I was first handed the CD, and my first introduction to this amazing man was Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Business. If you have not listened to this audio training, go YouTube it, okay? So Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Business. This was recorded 30 years ago, maybe more, and I believe it's better today than it was then. I think it's even more relevant today than it was then. In fact, that's what happens with the wisdom when you listen to it, is like, you know, some things, you know, over time you go, this is dated. How many of you guys have heard something and you're like, ooh, that did not age well? Jim Rohn's trainings not just age well, they're like a fine wine, right? So they get better with age and time, and the wisdom behind them becomes even more clear, more relevant, more concise of understanding. So definitely pick that up. Now, part of the reason why is because he said, look, to live an extraordinary life, it's not doing extraordinary things. It's doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. That's what an extraordinary life is. That's success. And what he boiled it down to is a few different things, which is your disciplines, right? So we can, you know, hope is great, you know, so attitude is great, and they're very important, but attitude doesn't make up for incompetence, right? So if I'm driving east looking for the sunset, I don't care how positive I am. That ain't gonna happen. Right? So the idea behind it is making sure that we are not only having the positive attitude, which is an important part of it he talks about, but also that we are going in the right direction because we need to have the disciplines. Now, the attitude comes first because you need to take the attitude, because if you're going out there being like, I'm never going to make it, I'm never going to make it, it's not going to work either. But what we're going to do is go out there and show people what it is that we do here. Now, this is the bread and butter of our program, meaning like you could be the most excited person in the world. And if you come to this training every Tuesday and you listen to every inner circle training and you come to every convention and every good life training, but you don't talk to anyone, you're not going to make any money. You'll have a great time. You'll have some amazing relationships. You'll develop some great skill sets in terms of your personality and your attitude and the training, but you're not going to get the cash register to ring. Now, I don't know. Maybe, maybe I'm going to be wrong, but if you're spending time with me on a Tuesday night and you're here consistently and you're investing into your future, I believe most of you are looking for a result. So if you're looking for a result, we need to be focusing on what are the right action steps. So it is not doing extraordinary things. It's not even doing a lot. It's doing simple things consistently over a period of time. And it is these simple things that will lead to really the privileged life, so to speak, or the successful life versus the simple errors in judgment that lead us down a path that a lot of times we don't see, because it's the things that don't seem to matter. It's the important things that are not urgent, but must be done regularly to produce success. But unfortunately, most people are spending time doing busy things. And it's so easy to be busy. It's easy to be busy around everything else and not actually be productive. So today, I want to talk to you guys about what is your habits, your daily method of operation when it comes to building your business. I'm going to focus on just one thing. All right. There's a few that I think are very important, which we will call our core four here with our system, but we're going to go through those in more detail later. But I'm going to focus on one, which is exposures. Now, what are an exposure? Okay. I was introduced to this conversation, and it is an invite. I'm inviting somebody to take a look at what it is that we do to evaluate whether or not they would like to join. Now, in the beginning, you're going to be your makeup and numbers what you lack in skill. We're going to talk about this, but the goal is to be the messenger, not the message. Okay, we are not the message. I am not Viago. I am a member of Viago. I am an ambassador of Viago, but I am not Viago. I'm simply sharing somebody to take a look at it. Now, in the beginning, people are going to be met with a lot of resistance. Now, we did some amazing trainings on inviting. I'm going to skip a little bit of that because I want to refer back to it. But I want to show you guys on where I started and where should be the habit, because a lot of people out there going like, how do you know if you had a successful day in your Viago business? How do you know? You know? And I think a lot of people, this is one of those things where the idea of what a successful day is for many people is going to vary. And as Jim Rohn would say, is very simple, is did you do your best? Not did you do enough? Did you do your best? Right? And this is the building of self-esteem. When you know you could do more and you don't, this is where you start chipping away at that self-esteem. Is like, it's not about whether or not you did 10 presentations or 100 presentations or 2 exposures or 10 exposures. Did you do your best? Did you do your best? So coulda, woulda, shoulda ain't gonna get there. Coulda, woulda, didn't ain't gonna happen. Coulda, woulda, did my best. I have a good night's sleep that night. I wake up and I'm ready to go. And how you win your year is you don't focus on winning your year, you win your month. And how you win your month is you win your week. And how you win your week is you win your days. So if you can win your days and string a few of those days together, now you don't win every day, but if you start stringing them together consistently over a period of time, all of a sudden those successful days turn into successful habits, and successful habits turn into a successful life. Because if somebody has an outstanding relationship with their spouse for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, it's not on accident. There are certain things they're doing daily on a regular basis of habits that they've created that are producing success. If somebody has incredible physical fitness for 20, 30, 40 years, it's not on accident. Just like happiness. I posted a quote the other day. I would listen to Jim Rohn. Happiness is not an accident. Happiness is an art. It is something that you learn, and it's something that you can focus on. So let's get into that action. So what do we do? Our job here at Viago as ambassadors is to take people from knowing Not knowing to knowing. So I'm going to make this as simple, clear cut as I possibly can. And then I'm going to give you guys a strategy behind it. So there are people out there that don't know. They don't know. They don't know about what we do. They don't know about Viago. They don't know about it. So our job is to get them to know. Our job is to get them over the line, meaning from not knowing to knowing. Now, there's some people that won't even, no, I don't even want to know. All right. So, okay, fine. You want to stay on the not knowing side? I got it. But our job is to take people from not knowing to knowing and then collect decisions. Not knowing to knowing, collect decisions. Not knowing to knowing, collect decisions. What do I mean by collect a decision? You know, are you ready to become a member? Did this make sense to you? Do you want to save money? Do you want to go to Bali? Do you want to earn more income this year? Do you want to be around a great group of positive, uplifting people? Do you want to grow more in your life? Do you want to have better associations? So I'm collecting a decision of, do you want to participate as a member or as an ambassador of our amazing community and club? And that's it. So it's kind of like, are you open? Are you a good person? So you don't know about Viago. Now that you know about Viago, so our job is to get them to what? Take a look. Take a look. I am not the movie. I am the trailer as best as I possibly could to say, listen, there's something you got to see, something you got to check out, something you got to evaluate. Now, how to do that approach and that pitch, we're going to talk a little bit about, but mostly what I want to guys in the very beginning is during a pre-launch situation over the next 10 days, 11 days is how many people can I get that are taking a look that are between a yes and a no? I call those people in play. They're in play. They're between yes, they're between no. All right. Now, the goal is to get at least 10 in play really quickly. And then for those of you guys that want to sponsor a lot of people, 100 in play. Now, 100 people in play might seem like a lot, but if you showed 3 people a day for a month, that's 100 people that are evaluating information and taking a look at it. So what seems like could be a lot, for many of you, it's just doing it more. And instead of being so concerned about who says yes, who says no, who's kind of, sort of, wishy-washy, you guys know those people, the when I people. You guys, well, when I get the money, when I get the time, when the kids get out of school, when the kids get back into school, when the sun and the moon and the stars align, then I'll do Viago. That's not who we're looking for. We're looking for people who have that now spark. So I was taught this concept a long time ago, all right, which was a simplicity and understanding what it is that is the minimum to consider yourself really a productive ambassador inside of our community is the concept of 2 a day. Okay. All right. So 2 a day. Now, 2 a day is a very simple thing, and I want to talk about it. What is 2 a day? Is 2 people a day, 2 new people, I'm going to clarify this, 2 new people a day that I'm being introduced to the concept where they're evaluating, taking a look at Viago. They are in play. They're in the process of saying yes or no. Now, I believe everyone deserves the right to tell you no. I always also believe that everyone deserves the right to know. KNOW, right? So, but 2 a day is a very amazing concept. And I want everybody here, this should be a mantra for you is 2 a day. Did I do my 2 a day? Did I have a successful day? Did at least 2 people that I now have that are in play that are looking at it. Now, 2 a day, I'm going to write this out for you guys so you guys can really see it and understand it, right? So when you're looking at 2 a day, this is a habit that we want you to really start taking on. Now, good example. In the beginning, brushing your teeth. How many times are you supposed to brush your teeth a day? 2 times. So morning and night at least, right? Some of you guys are like 3. I see some 3s up there. I see some 4s and 5s. Also acceptable. So after every meal, also acceptable, right? So, but I think we could all agree that at a minimum, 2 is probably the number. I think we could all say. Now, here's a question. Do you have to brush your teeth today? No. So brushing your teeth isn't required, but either is keeping your teeth, right? So I heard a dentist say, only brush the teeth you want to keep. So right now that makes sense, right? So 2 a day. Now, here's the thing. When we're born, is brushing our teeth a habit? No, not at all, right? In fact, how many of you guys remember having to teach your kids how to brush your teeth? I was one of those that was kicking and screaming of not brushing my teeth, right? To the point where I would lie about it. you know? So I'd be like, Mom, did you brush your teeth? I was like, yeah, Mom, I brushed my teeth. And she'd be like, did you brush your teeth? And then I would, like the toothbrush, she would see the toothbrush wasn't wet. And then I started getting fancy and I would wet the toothbrush. And then she would have to come smell. And then she would like breathe on me. She would come smell my breath because I was the one that was like, no, like I don't want to. Right. So because it was not a habit that I got in. But then once you do it over and over and over, all of a sudden it becomes subconsciously, unconsciously competent where you just do it. You don't think about it. Right now, for many of you, the idea of having to show 2 people a day feels potentially like a lot. I know that. I get that. That's like for many people. Then all of a sudden it becomes so habitual to the same way where it's such an easy thing to do. Okay. So, but two. Now, why 2 a day? They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? So, it's not 365 apples on New Year's. Notice that, right? I'm not asking you to do 2 a day, or 600 people on January 1st, if that makes sense. Because what we're looking to do is create a habitual habit of something that is not only sustainable, but something that is replicatable, something that is duplicatable, something that your people around you can go, oh, I could do that. Because the majority of people that we introduce to this concept are busy. How many of you guys know? Some of them are so busy that even looking for 10 minutes at a video is like, I don't even got time for that. And it's like, well, you really need to look at an opportunity then. So, however, when you're looking at it from the standpoint of what will really replicate or duplicate, this is something that every single one of us, it's got 2 a day. Now, for many of you guys, if you're looking to earn a 6-figure income very quickly, you're going to need to scale that up. I'm going to talk about that here real quick, but let's just go with some of the basics. So let's look at what 2 a day really will do for you in your life. Now, if this is you, okay, so you are a 1, okay, and so it's just you, and you did 2 exposures a day, right? So if we're doing on a day, so if you did 2 a day. Now, if you did that, let's go over the course of weeks, okay? So, and you did this 5 days a week. Let's say you take Saturday and Sunday off in this example, or you take Sunday, Monday off, whatever it is, just for easy math. You did 2 a day, took a couple of days off. That would be 10 exposures for the week. Hopefully you're all with me so far. Okay. So if we did that for the year, okay. All right. So for the year, we're doing 2 exposures every day. We're doing 10 exposures every week. For the year, we did that 50 weeks a year. We take 2 weeks off because you got to go on some escapes, right? So, all right. And that would be 500 exposures for the year. Now, why is this a significant number? Well, if you did 500 exposures in the year, I don't care how bad you are, somebody's joining. Like our seed is too good not to fall on fertile soil. That's what's going to happen. Now, we do realize as you go plant seeds out there, the birds are going to get some, as Jim Rohn would say. Right? So some are going to go, some are going to, the weeds, someone's going to go to the weather. Some is just going to land on the sidewalk. Some's going to land on the pavement, but some seed will land on fertile ground, impossible not to grow when you have good seed. Right? Now, with 500 exposures, you can't be that bad. You could try to convince people not to join. Somebody's going to be like, nope, this is a good idea. All right. I'm telling you, look, they say even a busted clock is right twice a day. Think about it, right? So 500 exposures in a year. Now, 500, if I said do 500 exposures, you could be like, that sounds like a lot. It's 2 a day. That's all it is. It's not that much. It's 2 a day. I didn't say brush your teeth 500 times on New Year's. I said brush them twice a day. Right? Now, if only 1% said yes, which is a pretty bad ratio, but let's say that was the ratio. You were like one of the worst ambassadors ever in the history of Viago, right? So 1% would still be 5. 5 people say yes. Now it's not just you, it's 5 people. 5 people do 2 exposures a day. That would be 5 times 2. That would be 10 exposures a day. That would be 50 exposures a week. That would be 2,500 exposures per year. You can't be that bad, people. Now, I'm not asking you to do 10 exposures a day. How many am I asking you to do? 2. But now, because of leverage, duplication, and replication, you've got 10 exposures happening every day inside of your business. 50 exposures a week. You can't be that bad. Someone's joining 2,500. If 1% joined, that would be 25. You have 25 people now in year number 3, because that's where we are right now in realistic timeframes here. 25 people doing 2 exposures a day. That's 50 exposures a week. That's 250 50 a day, 250 exposures per week. And now you're talking about what, 12,500 exposures in a year? Okay. Now what are we talking about? Done? I don't know, freedom. I mean, where are we at right now? So like, okay, well, maybe that's aggressive. That's 125. Okay, fine. Then you got 125 people doing 2 exposures a day. You have 250 exposures a day going into your business, but I'm not asking you to do 250 a day. In fact, you probably couldn't even if you wanted to. You can't get more than 24 hours out of a day, but you can get more leverage out of a day. You can get more 2 exposures out of a day if you get just more people. Now, I'm not asking anybody to do more than 2 here. Some will do more, and that's okay. But the minimum is how many? 2. It is not the 2, it's the habit of the 2. And all of a sudden, you're going to look at this times this. What are we talking about? 1,200, and I don't even know what this is. I haven't done the math on this. It's a lot. How's that, right? So it's a lot of exposures. A lot, it is. So when we're building this out, what I want you guys to realize is it starts with who? You. And it starts with this. Now, you can't ask people to do something that you're not doing. That's not going to work, because people, what we call mentorship in leadership is lead your ship. Lead your ship. Now, leading your ship is having something to model, having something to follow, right? So the parent that's like, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke, and sitting out there smoking all day long, we know where that leads. All right. So in this, the whole point of this is to make sure we're getting these exposures in. Now, 2 a day is really important. I want to tell you guys a few stories and stuff that happened to me just to relate this to, so you guys can understand. But here's what I want you to have fall asleep. When you fall asleep at night, did I do my 2 today? Did I do my 2 today? Now, in the beginning, I know this is going to feel, it almost feels like a lot. I'm telling you, I remember vividly going like every day. 2 every day. I was like, I got to brush my teeth every day. Yeah, if you want to keep them. Now, here's the difference. If I do my 2 exposures today and you don't, it's not that I'm successful and you're a failure today, but that action compounded over time is the difference between success and failure. But a lot of people don't realize that what's sending them off course or sending them on course is that consistency over a period of time. See, it is not doing extraordinary things, as Jim Rohn would say. It is doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Now, what is ordinary things extraordinarily well? Doing those 2 exposures with a great attitude, with a positive attitude, with some excitement behind it, being the best messenger you can, getting your skills done, and not being fazed at the many, many, many people who don't look, don't see it, aren't interested. Right. So in order for you to do the next 2, because a lot of people will allow the last 10 to dictate their attitude on the next 1. That's how most people operate. And I get it. I understand why. We're humans, we're emotional creatures, so now sometimes I wish I could turn you guys a little bit more into robots, meaning like you just would do it every single day without question, without fail. Right. So now here's the thing. Although this is a numbers game, we can't treat people like numbers. That's not our program. So every person that we introduce, we have an opportunity to change the quality of their life by introducing them to our community. All right. But I want to share with you a couple of stories here before I get into this, and then how do you accelerate this? Now, for those of you guys that are looking for full-time income, 10 exposures a day. 10 a day. You're looking for full-time income, 10 a day or more. Or how about the best you can do? Right. Some of you guys have seen Mr. Eric Grzybowski, and Eric Grzybowski has been on the #1 on the recruiting chart here pretty much almost every month, outside of last month when he got beat by Radar by like 1, which was amazing. But when you take a look at that, like, how is he doing this? He's sending 100 messages a day. A day. 100 messages a day. So it's a numbers game, of course. I mean, like, how are they making how do you make so many shots? Well, he's shooting a lot. Right? You can't expect to make 10 shots if you shoot 5 times. But if you shoot 1,000 shots a month, making 50 doesn't seem like a lot, right? It really doesn't, okay? Now, in this, What I'm looking for is not the result. I'm looking for the habit. The habit is what will give you freedom. So what is your habit? The two a day, two a day, two a day, two a day, two a day. So this was ingrained into me at a young age to the point where it was basically, if you don't do your 2 exposures today, you don't love your family. It was pretty aggressive. Now, what's interesting is people are like, wow, that's a lot. But is it? And here's the reason why. They said, why are you doing the business? I'm doing this business for my family. Well, if I don't do my 2 exposures a day, if the reason I'm doing the business for my family and I do my 2 exposures and my exposures are what lead me to success for my family, then do I really love my family? Now I know, I'm skating a line here, but I'm doing it on purpose because a lot of people realize is that, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not strong enough. No, your why should set you into action and motivation. Now, one of the reasons why is people usually don't tie the daily habits to their whys, but they are connected because the habit of doing something consistently is what leads you to freedom here in our side of our business. Now, being in the club doesn't mean you're successful in the club. It means you get to participate in all the amazing benefits of the club. But being successful in the club means actually doing it. A good example of that is there are a lot of people that have been inside of network marketing for a long period of time, but they don't do it very much. They're just in it, right? It would be the equivalent of having a gym membership and going to the gym and saying hi to everyone and leaving, which is fun. By the way, there's great people at the gym and you can watch all day long. It's really cool. In fact, you can even say to yourself, I know how to work out because I've watched a lot of people work out. Oh, I know that. Oh, I know that. Do you know how to do that? Oh, yeah, I know how to do that. Right. So, but unless you go do the action, and doing it once isn't enough. Okay. Doing something once is not extraordinary. Doing something once is ordinary, but doing something ordinary extraordinarily well is very simple of doing it over and over and over and over and over. Ooh, the consistency is the key here on this. So, but let's get into it and give you a few stories. Some of you guys have heard these stories before. If you haven't, bear with me on it because they're funny, and I got a couple good ones for you. So when I was taught this principle back in the day, it was before we had a tool like our Elite Synergy System app, before we had Rapid Funnel, before we had videos, before we had all that. Back in the day, if we wanted to give out 2 exposures per day, we had to buy the tools to give out. That was an investment into our business. Now, my very first tool, which I think I might. So hold on, I didn't disappear into Vegas. I'm going into my closet. Hold on. So almost positive, I have it. I do. I brought it with me to the Philippines. This was the first tool that I was given. Okay. How many of you guys have seen one of these? It's a cassette tape. This was the cassette tape that I was given when I first was introduced to this industry in May of 2002. Now, there's some of you that have never seen one of these. If you Google it, you'll know what it is. And on this, it was a tool. Now, when I first got started in the business, we transitioned pretty quickly, though, to CDs, compact discs, right? And then we were so excited when we moved from CDs to DVDs. We were like excited. But back in the day, I remember buying these and we would buy them in bulk. So if we wanted to give out 2 exposures per day, that would be 30 in a month, which means we needed 60 of them. We had to buy them and they were usually a couple bucks a piece, right? So what that means is we were investing approximately, if we were doing $100 a month just in buying something to give out to somebody to create an interest in something, right? So with no guarantee, but this was the beginning of of the industry. This was the marketing of it. And what they said was a little bit different is don't worry about who it goes to, just get them out, 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 get them out. Because what we want to do is create the successful habit. So how many people can we get to be taking a look? And then we need to follow up, which is why we would say exposure is everything, but fortune is in the follow-up, right? Exposure is everything, fortune's in the follow-up, and then the last step was work with the willing. Not everyone's willing. Not everyone's coachable. Not everyone's willing to take the journey. But through this, when I started passing out these cassettes and CDs, I remember in the very beginning, like I was weird. I was awkward. I didn't know what to do it. I didn't know how to do it. Right. So, and I remember in the beginning is like, it was like any means necessary. Now, I don't care in the beginning how you do your 2 exposures. We used to do trainings on this. I don't care. I lived in Los Angeles at the time when I first started in this profession. And I remember telling people, it's like, I don't care if you drive down Venice Boulevard and you chuck these out the window and just 2 a day, just get them out of your car. Right. And so like just just like fling them out at, it's like, I don't care if you walk down and you go pass them out and be like, Merry Christmas. And you hand them a cassette tape and you're like, it's June. Like, like get, get it, get them out, like get them out. 2 a day have got to be in someone's hands. And here's the thing, I don't even care if they listen to it. It was just the habit. It was the habit of every day. So every day, what I would do is this: is I had $2 silver in my pocket on one side, and I wasn't able to go home until I got to the other side. Like these were things of I will realize that successful people have successful habits. I've got to get them out to people consistently. And because it's not the exposure, it's the habit that will lead you to the successful life. So this habit, I remember we had video cassette tapes like VHS. You guys remember those VHS tapes? And I remember it was like 11 o'clock at night. I didn't have my 2 exposures. I had one. I was like, nothing's open. Nothing's open. Right. So I was planning to walk into just like a store or a gas station and be like, please take this, throw it away if you want. I just have to give 2 of these out every day. Right. And I couldn't even find a gas station. And I remember I saw the Blockbuster that was open. You guys remember Blockbuster? Yeah. So there was a place you used to go to actually buy movies or rent movies. So anyway, that Blockbuster, I went and took that VHS and I dropped it into the return slot. And I was like, second exposure, let's go. Right. So, and I got a phone call from a guy who worked at Blockbuster the next day. He was like, hey, because my number was on there. Right. So, and he was like, hey, you dropped your movie off, and be like, this isn't ours. And I was like, nope, it's yours. Here's well, yeah, if you like what you see, call me back. If you're looking for an opportunity to make some extra money outside of working at Blockbuster, let me know. Right now, of course, did almost all of those turn into nothing? Yes, like most seeds that get planted do not grow. Farmers know this. It's an expectation. They're not worried about it. They also know they're not going to grow the same day. You can't plant a seed today and eat from it tomorrow. Can't plant seeds yesterday, look down to the ground, and be like, where's my watermelon? That's naive. The ground is looking up like, what are you, new? Don't know how this works? You guys can tell I've been listening to a lot of Jim Rohn, right? So takes a little bit of time. However, the thing that's very interesting about this when I started looking at it was the exposures. Now, I want to give you a couple of them that ended up happening inside of my business because these happen consistently. Exposures lead to exposures lead to exposures. So when you expose somebody, you never know who's going to lead you to who. And that's one of the most exciting things. But those exposures, 2 a day. So 2 a day, 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 right? So inside of our system, we're getting 2 people to take a look and invite them to take a look at our system. Okay. So taking a look at our program, taking a look at our membership. Now, if you really want to scale this up, 2 exposure should be learning to 2 presentations a day. That's really where full-time income starts to happen, is presentations. Exposure should be leading to presentations. Okay. Now, in the very beginning, I'm not even worried so much about getting to presentations for if you're brand new. I just want you to get in the habit of the exposures, because I don't know who it's going to be, but I need you to be in the habit for the right moment at the right time for the right person. See, many of you have walked by or talked to the person in passing or in life that is your next diamond, but you weren't in the habit of exposing them, so it didn't actually come to fruition. So, and I wish I could tell you, like Monty, I wish I could tell you, listen, on January 21st, 2025, at Starbucks in Frisco, when you walk out of that gym that you come out of, the guy that's there that you hold the door open for that says, thank you, that's the one. I wish I could tell you that. I wish I could tell you. Now here's what's crazy. You're like, that story is true. That's a true story. I just don't know when. Monty's like, done. Right. So yeah, Monty, I know you're going to talk to that guy, but I want you guys to be in the habit every single day of it, because what happens is a lot of times out of sight, out of mind. If we're not thinking about it, if we're not thinking about these exposures of it, is getting after this. Now people say, do I have to talk to everybody? No, you don't have to. So, but I'm asking you to do how many? 2. I'm asking you to do 2. It's not too much. Now, if you do 2 exposures and you're out talking to somebody and they're like, wow, what do? You can't be like, sorry, I did my 2 today. Talk to me tomorrow. You're allowed to do 3 and 4 and 5. Don't make your minimums your maximums. So you want to keep going with it. So, but how many can you do? Now, One of the things is here is having a system to do this. So we're going to be starting to do this on our trainings here on a regular basis, is starting to teach you different elements of utilizing our Elite Synergy app, right? So the Elite Synergy System app, and understanding how to really maximize your benefits here from using this program, okay? Now, inside of this, I'm going to just pull up two things here, which are really easy to really to comprehend, is go watch the new training on our website. Underneath it, if you click on getting started, it's going to teach you how to get in and utilize this if you haven't. So, in taking a look. So I started a new account here so I could kind of start getting this done. So since I started this new account here in the last couple months, so I've had 175 new exposures that are getting through this. So this month I'm a little bit behind my targets here, so of having 13 new, but I've been putting more into this. But here's the thing, numbers don't lie. So utilizing this as a tracking method, because you have to inspect what you expect when it comes to this. So inside of here, it's going to show you how many that we have, how many exposures, how many we have for the week. I have a new recruit that just signed up 2 days ago, who's one of the #1 choreographers here in the Philippines. I'm so excited about. That's leading to now more exposures and presentations with his contacts here. So as I'm getting a lot more in the entertainment industry here, and it's amazing because you got these kids that have, they're in their 20s and they have like 100,000, 200,000, a million followers on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram, and they still can't pay rent. And now they're like, really? I was like, yeah, but that was me. I mean, I was a starving artist in LA, traveling around the world, being booked at gigs in Spain and Portugal and Italy and Ireland and London, and I'm still trying to make it to the end of the month without having to go wait tables, you know? So in any event, inside of here, obviously we have our resources, and oh, you guys are seeing different country codes that are going to be popping in here, by the way, because this will be a system that will be replicated into all of the different countries around the world and all the different markets. So you have a very simple step process inside of that, which is amazing. But inside of Peak under opportunity, there's a second video, which is the pre-launch video, which is the 10-minute video, which is amazing, goes through all the information, concise and quick. And then there's the What is Viago by Jesse McPherson. This is the longer one. This is 40 minutes. This is not usually the first exposure. It's more of a second, unless there's somebody that you know that's already open to the idea and the concept. So that's why it's second in here. But when you pull this up and through this is we're entering in our contacts, right? So we've got our contacts in here. So of people that I'm exposing to this. Now, here's a good example. As I started getting back into my dance and dance conventions and things like this, one of the guys that posted about, we used to dance together 22 years ago. In fact, I was one of the first teaching gigs. He became an actor, pretty well known in the acting industry. And then we just caught up, and it was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm doing these retreats with cowboys." And I'm like, "So the German hip hop dancing actor is doing Zen cold plunge breath work retreats with cowboys?" He's like, "I know." Anyway, we had a great conversation, catch up, dear friend of mine. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm building this thing." And he's like, "Wow, it sounds interesting. My wife loves travel. We should check it out." Now, here's the thing. I sent him the video yesterday. Obviously, he hasn't watched it. His score is still 0. So guess what I need to do? I need to nudge him and be like, "Hey, brother, let me know as soon as you finish the video so we can set up our next Zoom." So I can, again, follow up. So there's another exposure, right? So, and these are just the exposures and exposures and exposures of people. So this is a good one. So this was Luis. This was the hip hop choreographer and dancer that I sent this to him. So I sent him the video. He ended up watching it. We initiated a call. He came over. We did a sit down. And after that, he said, "Hey, I'm in," and we're setting up the new appointments. So, but in here, it's going to show me everything in my activity log of everything that everybody is doing in their timeframes and their conversations. So like, oh my God, I got to call Rob back. So I just saw his name here. So Rob watched 84% of the video, and I haven't called Rob, and he watched it on the 5th. Oh my God, I got people to call. So I got too many people to call, right? So, and so these are great people from that are watching it. This person watched 100%, then they clicked on it again, then they watched all of this stuff that I can start seeing in terms of my exposures of keeping a simple system through my exposure. So every day, 2 a day, I'm just being like, "Hey, listen, so if I sent you, would you take a look? Hey, are you open? Are you open to looking at this?" Now, if you guys haven't seen under the resources, one of the things that we did an invite was social posts. So trip booked and passport. This one is catching some great attention. Curious, when was the last time you used your passport and where did you go? if you guys haven't seen this yet, in fact, Becca inspired me to do this. If you're on here, Becca, I'm pretty sure she is. So Becca took this prompt that I wrote and posted it and got like 80 comments on her Facebook page from people that started conversations. And those conversations led to exposures of people going, they're like, well, where's the last time that I was like, listen, I'm going to Bali next month. I'm going to Mexico next month. Do you want to come? Do you want to dust off that passport? Right. So have you ever been to Dubai? I'm looking for new places to go. Right. So, and checking it out and leading to new exposures and exposures. She is on here. Hey, Becca. And so I posted it on mine. Now, look, mine is not the normal because people know me for the last 22 years of being inside of the space of network marketing. So I'm not a good barometer of this, but here's what we love is new people that are getting started, that are going, hey, that are creating conversations. That's what we're looking to do. Again, what is our job? Our job is to take people from not knowing to knowing and then collect decisions. Not knowing to knowing, collect decisions. And how many a day are we supposed to do minimum? How many? Put them up. All right. So this is Viago, which means what? Two. This is Viago. Otherwise, it's just one finger. And I'm not going to show you what that looks like, but you know what it means. So, right. Some of you all get that later. So otherwise it's just your business is number one with the wrong finger, right? It is not that. What we need is the simplicity of two. This is what we do. I did my two. I got in my two. I got my two today. And if we do that consistently and every single one of us does that, and here's the reason why. The people that are following you that are busy, that have no time. If you do 100 a day, most people, I can't do that. I can't do that. Now, maybe they could, maybe they couldn't. That's not the thing. But what we want is everyone go, I could do that. How many of you could do two? Everybody. Everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't care how busy you are. If you're not doing 2 exposures a day in your business, it's by choice. It is not by accident. So now a lot of people say, well, I'm busy. I totally get that. Totally get that. So, but the question is, are you being busy or are you being productive? And if there isn't an opportunity to carve 5 minutes out a day, 10 minutes out a day for you to be able to do those 2 exposures a day, in order for you to be able to go find the right people to build your business, so you can really truly be sorting instead of convincing in our business, then I feel like you're going to be spinning your wheels. So this is something that's super important for you guys, is those 2 a day, 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 2 a day. I don't like the amount of stories that I have on my 2 exposures per day that led me to something crazy is wild. Okay. But I want to finish with this. Okay. So, many of us have some emotions that pop up when it comes to building our business, or stops us from building our business. So just out of curiosity, I want you guys to type into the chat box, what are some of the negative emotions and or feelings that we get that stop us from building our business, right? So if you could, I'm gonna pull this up here on my screen. Actually, I think it's gonna be even more relevant this way. Okay, so all right. So yes, of course, fear. Okay. What else stops us? All right. So inside of our business. Okay. So rejection. What else stops us? Mediocrity. Okay. So what else stops us? Time. Right. So I don't have the time. Right. Self-doubt. Okay. Self-doubt. Right. So what else stops us? Family/friends. Right. So maybe somebody being, how about negativity? Okay. All right. How about skepticism? I can't spell, but you guys get it, right? One of my mentors a long time said, would you rather say I am smart or I is a millionaire? All right. So now it's better to be able to spell, but it is what it is. Anxiety. That's a good one. Anxiety. Right. How about overwhelm? That's my big one, right? That's my big one. Overwhelm. Does anyone have that emotion that pops up? Procrastination. I heard somebody say that procrastination is like suicide on installment plans. Oof. That one hit me, right? So what else? Tired, right? So I'm tired, right? Language barrier, right? I have a language barrier, right? Excuses, right? So what else? What are some of the other negative emotions that stop us from building our business, right? So Scared. Okay, I saw somebody write that one down. Lack of confidence, lack of motivation, lack of, we could say both, confidence, motivation. So what else was there? Uncertainty. Yeah, right. Uncertainty a lot of times can stop us in our tracks. So what else? So feel pride. Oh yeah. This one, looking good. Right. So looking good stops a lot of people. Oh, I don't want to look bad, looking good. All right. Distractions. What else stops us? TikTok. Doom scrolling. All right. So too cool syndrome. Yep. I like it. Distractions. All right. I think we've got quite a bit here. So let's take a look at it. Now, you guys know that there's a remedy, there's a cure for all of this, right? So now, if you're being honest, by show of hands, how many of you guys have experienced one, if not all of these emotions inside of your business? You're being truthful, right? I'm sure if you're like me, I mean, sometimes almost on a regular basis, on a daily basis, right? Now, if you're like, some of you guys like, none, I've never experienced any of these. Well, then you lie about other things too. So, because look, this is a natural thing, okay? Now in this, what is the difference and how do we go out there and create this is very simple, is one word. Activity. It's your actions. Actions cure all. Actions. So how do we represent this? So I'm taking this piece of paper, I'm putting it in half. Okay. So, and here's what happens. The more activity you do, when your actions increase, what you'll notice is these emotions start to decrease. And when actions increase, these emotions start to decrease. So activity cures all. Actions. Now, I'm not asking you to do a lot. I'm asking you to do how many a day? 2 a day minimum, right? Now, if you did 2 a day, 10 days a week, 500 a year, you're going to sign somebody up. Can't be that bad. You just got to give yourself enough runway to win. Most people just give themselves enough time to fail, right? Say, I'm going to graduate from college. I'm going to give myself 6 months. Not even starting is probably a better move, right? I'm going to lose 30 pounds by tomorrow. Not a good idea. You could do it, chop off an arm, chop off a leg. It's obtainable. It's not sustainable though. So in other words, give yourself enough runway. So what do we got to do? We got to do activity. But what happens is this, is when activity drops, guess what starts to come out? There they are, baby. Every one of those emotions, to the point where this is when I get the phone calls. It's not working. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, well, when was the last time you did a presentation? And it's like, well, all these other things. And then guess what? They get back into action. These start to go away. A little bit of action, a little bit goes away. A lot of action, most of it goes away. And then all of a sudden, this is your dance. This will be the dance for the rest of your life between your emotions and your activity and your actions. So if you are experiencing a lot of these emotions popping up for you, my question is, where did my activity fall off? Okay. Because I can tell you, when you are doing exposures on a regular basis and you have people interested on a regular basis, you have excitement on a regular basis, I'm not saying that these aren't going to come out. I'm not saying that they aren't going to be there, but they're not going to be overwhelming your day. Because here's what happens with a lot of people is these emotions on this side overwhelm you to the point where the actions stop. And when the action stops, there's no magic that happens. So for us, the idea behind it is to stay in action and create the habits that are going to lead you towards the life of freedom that most of you guys are here for. So we have been here for an hour. I've been jibber jabbering at you guys for a long period of time. And just to close this out for you guys, in some of the best words you could possibly, when it comes to what Jim Rohn is this: in the beginnings, you make up in numbers what you lack in skill. Talk to 10, get 1, talk to 10, get 1, talk to 10, get 2. What happened? You're getting better. And who can get better? Anybody, right? So, but what determines our destination in life is not the winds of life. It's the set of our sail. See, it's about setting a better sail this year than last year, this month than last month, today than yesterday. Now, you can't change destination overnight, but you can change direction. And how you set your sail here in Viago is doing the right actions consistently over a period of time, which is what leads to an extraordinary result. So, ordinary people doing something extraordinarily well, which is just doing something ordinary on a regular basis. So, Jim, thank you for your lessons, your teachings, and allowing me to channel a little bit of who you are and what you did for this world. I was really blessed to have an opportunity to see Jim Rohn live at one of his last ever speaking engagements in Southern California. In fact, I was at the Success Symposium in Irvine, um, where he was supposed to be speaking at his last gig that he didn't make it to, that he recorded a video for as well, which was unbelievable. Um, and it's one of those things where when we look back on our lives and we look back on who we were and what we did and the gifts that we shared with the world, so most of us are going to look back and go, I could have gave more. And giving more means, did you do your best? Here's the thing. I don't want you to do more than you can. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you a very simple question. Did you do your best? And before you go to sleep tonight, if you're going to have a good night's sleep and wake up ready to go for tomorrow, it's, did I do my best? So some of you guys need to go get those 2 exposures. Some of you guys need to go down and drive down to that Blockbuster tonight. So no, I'm just kidding. Here's the good news. You don't have to drive down to Blockbuster. You guys know with Facebook and Instagram and all these other things, you can do 2 exposures literally while you're sitting on the John, for God's sakes, you know? So, I mean, it's a simplified world that we have here real quick. But don't let the ease of technology replace the understanding of how important the habit is. So, let's go. Let's go for you, your business, your organization, and make this thing happen. Replay of this call will be up on elitesynergysystem.com under trainings, under replays. You'll be able to find it there. Pass it on to your organization. But here's what I'm looking for real quick. Everybody get your cameras on. Let's get some deuces up here. And because I want to get a good picture of everybody here before we fall out here. And let me know if you guys are excited about Vegas. This is Viago. This is Vegas. This is deuces. This is everything that we are going to be doing because we are 10 days away from the launch of our company. And I'm so proud to be on this journey with you guys as we go out there and make an impact in the world by giving people access to real community with our membership. Love y'all. Let's make it happen. And let's close this Indie convention very strong. Bye, guys.